This morning we are going to salute the moon. So wherever you are, I'm going to invite you to find your feet connecting to the floor, the earth, spread the toes, rock and roll on the feet, soften the knees, relax the tailbone. Start to connect to the sense of groundedness below you. And on the inhale, we're going to let the hands float up overhead. And as the hands come together, clasp one wrist, take yourself over to the other side. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale yourself back to center, clasp the other wrist. Exhale, other side. Take a full breath in, full breath out. And then back to center. We'll just warm up the body just a little bit with a little twisting here, keeping the knees soft. Keep thinking about relaxing the tailbone, let the shoulders come down away from the ears. You can keep the arms bent, or you can let the arms swing and even tap your kidney in the back. Just rotating around the central axis here. Take a few more little twists here. And the moon salute is a mandala flow, so we'll be moving. There won't be really a front or back end of the mat. We're just going to move in a circle flow around the center point, which is our heart center. So opening up here, the central channel, and just warming the spine ever so softly. Go ahead and take a few more rounds, and then gently start releasing the effort, making less and less effort. Don't try to stop the body from swinging. And then less effort, less effort, less effort. Let the body keep moving as it wishes. That water started to flow. Let that little wave slowly start to settle. Now you're going to want a block or a book, big book. So go ahead and grab whatever you have. We're going to bring that to the mat. Now there could be a couple types of blocks. You might have like quite a sturdy, steady block. This is a cork block or a foam block, which might be a little bit flimsy. Just test it out here. See if you can bring it to the tallest setting and bring yourself into Malasana squat, sits bones on the block. Now, if you have a cork block, it'll hold you easily. If you have a foam block, it might not feel available, so you might want to grab some books. We're going to find our sits bones, those little bones underneath us in the pelvis, on the block. Find our steadiness here. And just find a Malasana squat on the block. So from here, bringing the shoulders back to stack over the pelvis, allowing the tailbone to relax down towards the mat, having the feet wide apart, knees open, just getting a little comfortable here. You'll notice a difference if you're leaning forward, looking at the floor. See if you can sit up and open the heart center. And then we're gonna just start by having a little play here. You can glide one foot out and open, extend the leg long. If this doesn't feel steady, just grab another block for your hands. And then flex the foot, point the toes at the ceiling, maybe make a little circle with the toes, roll out that ankle. And then gently glide that leg back in. Doesn't matter which one you start with. Extend the other leg, point the toes at the ceiling, make a little circle. And we'll see if we can take it through just one way, the bottom half, and then the top half, and then twice around the full moon salutation. And go ahead and glide back. So from the bottom of the moon salutation, this Malasana squat is the most bottom point, center. So allow yourself here to just find openness. You can bring the elbows inside the thighs, press the thighs open. Bring the hands together at the heart center. Just take a full breath in, full breath out. So at the bottommost point here in Malasana, we're going to press into the feet, come to standing, and come to the highest point in Malasana, coming back into our center line. Take the hands up. And once again, clasp one wrist, take yourself over to the other side. Inhale up, clasp the other wrist over to the other side. And then back up. Give yourself some jazz hands as you come back to standing. Go ahead and remove the block. So we'll start with the bottom part of the moon salutation. This tends to be the most challenging. Remember that we want our knees to bend the same direction the feet are pointing. So there's going to be adjustments that you'll make to move the feet. And whatever way the toes are pointing, that's the way we want to move it for the direction of the knee to bend. So in other words, you can't have your toes pointing one direction and try to bend the knee the other direction. We want to avoid that. So just remember, knees follow toes. All right, finding your feet below you, take the knees a little wider than hip distance, rock and roll, spread the toes, inhale the hands up, and now coming into our Malasana squat without the block. You can keep the block handy for the hands, keep the block in front of you. Find your way into your squat. See if you can bring the arms in between the thigh bones, press the thigh bones into the arm bones into the thigh bones. Relax the tailbone, open up the heart. If this is a growing edge for you, you're welcome to come to the wall. If you have any sort of difficulty with the knees, I invite you to just not come quite as deep and use your block as support. Take another full breath in, full breath out. Let the tailbone relax towards the earth. Let the heart open forward. Now, this can be a little challenging, so you can use a block for the hands. We're going to bring the weight onto the left leg. Let the right foot extend, right leg extend, point the right toes towards the ceiling. So we're in skater pose here. You can have the block handy to just help you find balance, or you can start to bring the hands up. Point the toes at the ceiling, full breath in. Full breath out. And then see if you can move back into your Malasana squat. Find your way there ever so gently. Again, you can use the block to help maneuver, lean into the block. And then open up. Again, check in with the tailbone. Relax the tailbone towards the earth. And then we're going to bring the weight onto the right foot. You can use your block to steady yourself. Extend the left leg out. Straighten the left leg, point the left toes towards the ceiling. You feeling that? All right, take another full breath in, full breath out. You can use the hands to steady you on the block, or you can bring the hands to heart center. If you find yourself unbalanced, just see if you can use those little stabilizers to find your way back. Full breath in, full breath out. And then back to our squat, back to center. All right, so that's the bottom of the mandala. We're gonna press into the feet, come back into standing, take ourselves all the way up. Here we have our little crescent moon at the top of the mandala, just moving from one side to the other. And then we're gonna open the legs wide, take the feet out about 45 degrees, so heels are in, toes are pointed out. Opening up into star pose, so you have your head, arms, legs, 5 points of the star. Everything radiating out from the heart. Now, as we take our next exhalation, we're going to start to bend the knees, bend the elbows, relax the tailbone, and come into goddess. And we're going to just take a moment here to find our best stance. So again, knees are following toes, the same direction. If you need to take it wider, or if you're leaning forward a lot, see if you can bring the shoulders over the hips, and then back up. One more like that. Just moving between star and goddess. All right, back up into star pose. Walk everything together, find a little crescent. This is the top. We're gonna take the feet wide, come back into Malasana, find the bottom. All right, we have the bottom of the mandala, the top of the mandala. Let's put it together with what's in the middle. Coming from our Malasana squat, take a full breath in. Full breath out. Relax the tailbone. We're going to extend the right leg long, bring the weight onto the left foot. Use your block as you need. Find ninja or skater pose. So the right toes are pointed towards the ceiling, right leg's extended. Left knee is bent. Bring the hands to heart center. Full breath in. Full breath out. Remember, you can just stay on the block with your hands if that's what's serving you better today. Now we're going to start to walk the hands the direction of the bent knee. So bringing the hands to the mat and rotating ourselves around so that we can find ourselves here in a low lunge. So you can bring the right knee down and go ahead and just let the weight come into the pelvis, let the pelvis drop forward and down. Back foot can be tucked or untucked. And then see if you can look forward with your hands on the mat. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then we're going to just walk the hands back just a little bit, half split, Hanuman prep. Point the left toes towards the ceiling, left leg is extended. Let the heart come towards the kneecap. And then walk the hands back forward into your low lunge. We're going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and see if we can find our way into a high lunge. So pressing into the ball of the back foot, bringing the knee to stack over the front ankle. Full breath in, full breath out. We're going to turn that back heel down, turn towards the long end of the mat, and find warrior two. From warrior two, we're going to straighten the front leg, the bent knee. Reach towards that knee that was just bent, and then find your way to triangle. Bringing the hand just inside that left calf, or you can grab your block here, spider the fingers on top of the block, and just find a nice heart opening here. Remember, you can be looking at the ceiling, looking forward, or looking down at the foot. We're going to start to soften that left knee, come back into our warrior three. If you have the block, just set it aside. From warrior three, straightening the front leg, turning the toes again towards the long end of the mat. Come onto the balls of the feet and bring in the heels. So now you're back in your star pose, and then bend the knees, find goddess. And then back up into star pose. Let that heart shine up and out, and then bring everything together, finding our little crescent. We're going to bring the palms together, lean into the side we were just at. So leaning towards the left side, and then inhaling yourself up, and then leaning towards the right side. And then inhale yourself up. So we're back at the top. We've gone around one side. We're going to go around the other side. Open your arms up into star. Heels and toes out. Take a full breath in star, and then exhale into goddess. Once you're in goddess, allow your tailbone to relax down. Allow the shoulders to come away from the ears. One more breath here. And then press back up into star. Turn your left heel out so the back edge of the left foot's parallel with the short end of the mat. Turn your right toes to face the short end of the mat. Here we're getting ready for triangle, but we're going to just test our stance by bending the front knee, finding warrior, and then straightening the front knee, reaching towards the right, and then finding triangle. And again, check in with your head and neck. You could be looking towards the ceiling. You could be looking straight ahead. You could be looking down at the floor. You can bring that block inside the calf if that's helpful. And take another full breath in, full breath out. We're going to start to tip ourselves back up, bend that right knee, find warrior three. Now we're going from an open, our hips are open to the long end of the mat. We're going to turn to face the short end of the mat. So just walk that right foot out ever so gently and then turn towards the short end of the mat. Lift the left heel and then bring the arm bones alongside the head. High lunge. Full breath in, full breath out. And then go ahead and start to lower the back knee. You're finding your way to your low lunge. First, we're going to take a little half splits here, straightening that right leg, bringing our heart center towards the right knee. Half splits. You can have the fingers spidered on the mat or on bricks. Go ahead and find one more breath here. And then walk your hands forward. Frame the foot. We're in our low lunge. We're just going to let the pelvis sink towards the mat. You don't need to lift your hands or anything here. Just find one more full breath in. As you exhale, let the pelvis sink towards the mat. Now we're going to come back into our ninja. This time it'll be the right leg that's bent. So we're going to start to move our right foot so the toes are facing the long end of the mat. Extend the left leg, point the left toes towards the ceiling. Ta-da! You can grab that block again. If that helps steady you, or you can bring the hands to heart center. You can find another full breath in, full breath out. And then we're going to move into our squat, malasana squat at the center of the mat. We did it. We made it all the way back to where we started. And remember, you can come up onto the block, or you can use the block to steady yourself. All right. We're going to try to go back the other direction from whence we just came. Let yourself have another full breath in. As you exhale, let the tailbone sink, look forward, let the heart open. And then using your block if you need, or fingertips on the mat, we're going to bring the weight onto the right foot. Extend the left leg long, point the left toes towards the ceiling. So exactly where we just were. Now, if you find yourself really sinking and leaning forward, use the block. Take another full breath in, full breath out. We're going to turn our bodies the direction of the bent knee. So fingertips to the mat, you can walk yourself around, finding our low lunge here. Make sure your knees are going to follow your toes. So move your toes of the right foot to point towards the short end of the mat. Back foot can be tucked or untucked. And then check out your low lunge. If the knee is coming much past the ankle, walk the foot forward. And then just allow the pelvis to sink. See if you can look forward, keep the heart opened. One more breath here. And then we're going to tiptoe our fingers back, straighten that front leg, that right leg, bring our heart towards the kneecap, and just sink in here. Full breath in, full breath out. Go ahead and walk the hands forward to frame the right foot. We're going to tuck the toes of the back leg, lift the back knee, finding our way to high lunge. So adjust the feet as you need. And then on an inhale, press into the feet. Ta-da, high lunge. Take another full breath in. Really press into the ball of that back foot. On the exhale, settle in. We're going to transition into warrior 3 here. So go ahead and turn the hips towards the long end of the mat. Turn the back heel down. Open up the arms. Look down at your feet. And if you need to make any adjustments, go ahead and do that now. And then go ahead and straighten that right leg. Reach forward. And then find your way to triangle. Open the heart. You decide, looking at the ceiling, looking forward, or looking down at the foot. Full breath in. Full breath out. We're going to soften that right knee, come back into our warrior 3, and then turn the toes towards the long end of the mat. Come onto the balls of the feet, lift the heels, coming into goddess. Here in goddess, we're going to stay for a moment, find some softness. You can take a little goddess dance if that feels nice. And then find your way to centeredness, to symmetry. Press into the feet, lift yourself up, find star pose. Radiating out that light from the heart. Full breath in, full breath out. You're going to bring the feet together, center of the mat, hands together overhead. Leaning into that direction we just were coming from, towards the right. Inhale back to center, and then leaning over towards the left. And then back to center. Open up again, star pose. Radiating out from the heart. Let the shoulders come away from the ears. Coming into goddess, make sure your feet are 45 degrees and then bend the elbows, bend the knees. Finding some softness here, whatever kind of dance your goddess wants to take today. Sometimes we want to be a fierce goddess. Today under the full moon, we're going to be a nice, soft, glittery goddess. Another full breath in, full breath out. Press back into star pose. Turn the heel of the right foot so that the back edge of the back foot is parallel with the back end of the mat. Turn the left toes to face the short end of the mat. Bend the knees just to see your stance here, warrior two, and then straighten that front leg. Reach towards the left, coming into triangle. Full breath in. Keep that heart open, full breath out. One more breath here. And then once again, softening that left knee, coming back into our warrior two. Warrior two is just for us to transition. Go ahead and walk that left foot out a little bit towards the left so that you can turn towards the short end of the mat and find your high lunge. Once you find your high lunge, press into the ball of the back foot. Full breath in, full breath out. We're going to go ahead and bring the fingertips down, lower the back knee, find our low lunge. From here, extending that left leg long, left toes pointed towards the ceiling, half splits. One more breath here. And then go ahead and walk the fingertips forward. We're going to start to turn towards the long end of the mat, finding our ninja, balancing on the left leg, right leg extended, right toes towards the ceiling. You got it. You've made it all the way around the mandala. Go ahead and bring yourself back into your malasana squat. Hands together in the heart center, elbows between the legs. Full breath in, full breath out. Take one more big, deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring the fingertips to the mat. We're going to come down onto the back. We're going to end with just a little short, a little supported fish pose here. So grab your softer block. If you don't have a soft block, grab a towel, fold up a towel. We're going to bring the block to this area right behind the shoulder blades, keeping that heart wide open. So we're going to start on the lowest setting of the block. Set the block on the mat. Wiggle worm your way back so that you can bring the shoulder blades on top of the block. So the lower part of the block is just about where your bra strap would be if you've ever worn a bra. Make sure your head is supported on the mat. If not, bring a pillow or something underneath the head and then open the arms up alongside the body. You can start with the legs in that bridge prep position. Just take a couple breaths here and get comfortable. And then if you like, you can keep the legs as they are, or you can extend the legs long on the mat. And we're just going to stay here and breathe a couple big, deep, life-affirming, heart-opening breaths. And as you inhale, noticing this expansiveness around the center area of the heart, just see if you notice any tension you might be holding in the front side of the body, perhaps under the collarbones, perhaps the belly or the throat, and see if you can just invite that tension to dissipate and let gravity then bring you deeper into the pose on an exhalation. One more big, deep, full breath in. As you exhale, letting gravity do all the work. Full breath out. And then go ahead and bend the knees back into that bridge prep pose. Inhale the arms up overhead. Take another breath here with the arm bones alongside the ears. And then we're going to roll off the block, one side or the other. See if you can reach around you or just remove that block and then roll right back onto the back. Hug the knees towards the chest. Rock a little side to side. From our bridge prep position with the knees towards the ceiling and the feet on the mat, we're going to press into the feet, lift the pelvis, and just gently bring our hands palm side down underneath us as if we're framing that sacrum. So we're on the back of the pelvis. And then we're going to bring the knees towards us, rock and roll a little bit, walk the pelvis towards the foot end of the mat, and then take the feet towards the ceiling. So taking a little virtual legs up the wall without the wall. Now, again, you might notice the front of the body, the shoulders curving in. See if you can just relax the shoulders down towards the earth. You can close off the eyes here and just allow this reversal of gravity. See if you can find about 5 more breaths here. And then before we bring the legs down, just go ahead and roll the ankles out or draw little circles on the ceiling with the big toes. And then bend the knees, bring the feet back down to the earth, roll off the hands. And we're just going to take just the shortest, sweetest little Shavasana, taking our legs out long, letting the arms come away from the body. Go ahead and roll the back of the head out a little bit, just gently right to left to right, and then find your way to center. See if you can let the eyes sink into the skull. And then begin to make each inhalation just a little deeper, a little longer. Again, nourishing that heart light as if you're breathing into the flame of the heart, brightening that heart light a little brighter with each breath. And you're invited to stay here just as you are for as long as you like. And when you're ready to get up, you're going to bring the arm bones up alongside the ears. Walk the feet towards each other, find a center line, take a full body stretch. Wiggle out the fingers, wiggle out the toes, and then bend the knees. Take yourself onto one side, use the arm as a pillow. Another breath there. And then press yourself up. Find your way to a comfortable seat. Bring the hands to the heart center. Press the thumbs into the sternum. On your next exhale, let the chin come towards the chest, bowing to yourself, honoring your own efforts. And then lifting the head, bringing the thumbs between the eyebrows, third eye center, honoring all those other yogis, yoginis who came before us for thousands of years to bring us this practice. The light in me recognizes, acknowledges the light in you, that we are made of the same light. Namaste.